It's the one place in Las Vegas where we're grateful that aging gracefully is in our nature, as is celebrating our past and future with many of our favorite guests and members. And sharing unseen efforts and a sustainable vision makes all the difference here at the Springs Preserve, where all that matters is what's elemental. Have been visiting the Las Vegas Springs for generations now, and although the modern preserve will only turn 10 years young in June of 2017, it already shows a maturity of purpose by inspiring a new age of environmental enlightenment that may be made for the Mojave, but also has natural worldwide appeal.
The property has been historically significant and important to people in Las Vegas Valley for thousands of years, literally thousands of years. It was the water that came up from the floor of the desert that brought life to this part of Las Vegas in an otherwise really hot and very dry place. But then the town started to grow because this was a good place for jobs. More jobs, more people. Land was sold in 1905 to create the original town site of Las Vegas, and it has exploded to a modern Las Vegas that we see today.
A city that too quickly outgrew and drained dry the natural but finite supply of water that had flowed from the springs for millennia. But the spirit of this gathering place remained with its reminders of what had been lost and what might still be found here if the preserved property could be saved from further urban development.
As Las Vegas grew and that need for conservation grew, people started thinking about this site. At one time, before Highway 95 was finished up, that was actually slated to go through some of this property. Because of the importance of the property, the early significance, the historical and archaeological importance, this property was placed on the National Register of Historic Places and preserved.
As plans for the property emerged, we knew we wanted to embrace our natural surroundings with an architectural style that would be praised for its sustainability and beauty.
The LEED certification really speaks to what the entire Springs Preserve is all about: leadership and energy and environmental design. And we happen to be fortunate to have LEED certified Platinum, which is the highest rating that you can get from the United States Green Building Council. So when this place was envisioned, it wasn't just envisioned as a nice park-like setting, but it had message built into every single square foot that they put in here.
And over the decade the Springs Preserve has been in existence, we've filled the property with memorable messages and relevant events for learners of all ages.
We have 30,000 school kids that come through here every year as part of our free school program. And these are our future environmental stewards and our leaders. The Springs Preserve provides a safe place for teachers to bring their students where they can explore, learn about nature, learn about water conservation while having a great time in an outdoor environment. It's so important for the community that people like the Rogers Family Foundation thought it was so important. They gave us a generous grant to help expand our teaching garden, which will allow us to bring more schools and more teachers here, along with our regular visitors, to learn about gardening in one of the hottest, driest parts of North America.
During our impressive history, we've been careful to grow not just for the sake of growing, but naturally and organically in keeping with the traditional yet changing needs of the preserve and its people.
The Springs Preserve has been evolving since the day it opened. 10 years ago is a lot of time, and for an institution like this, at 10 years it's really time to take a look at and change things. Fortunately for us, we have been changing along the way. So every couple of years something new has come online. One of the most popular things for our visitors in the last couple of years has been our butterfly habitat.
And we'll have several more equally popular attractions coming online in time to celebrate our 10th birthday.
So we're finishing a facility called Boomtown 1905, which will allow people to really roll back in time more than 100 years, get on our trackless train, drop people off at the train station, and they'll be able to experience, especially if they come here in the summer, what it was like living in Las Vegas.
We'll also be revealing what a remarkable feat it is to pump water uphill, far and wide across a thirsty desert community.
The Waterworks exhibit that's opening later in the year will really showcase how difficult it is to get water from Lake Mead and distribute it throughout this incredibly large valley. And that was through a partnership with the One Drop Foundation and support from the Royal Bank of Canada's Blue Water Fund.
We've also added a little water to the restored springs and creek that will once again be places to play, contemplate, and appreciate what's enduring about the preserve.
We've expanded our trail system out here and put in some more amenities. We have bikes that you can rent, we have trails that you can walk, so we have some more stopovers that talk about the early history, a couple of shaded spots, we've got some water in there, a very cool picnic place that we're calling Cottonwood Grove, which will let people experience what a lot of people did in the early 1900s was go down by the creek that was a result of the springs that flowed in a nice cool environment in the shade and hang out during the summertime.
And make every new visit a rebirth of ancient springs rituals that have natural and communal and eternal appeal for generation after generation.
My biggest hope is that people walk away with a feeling of ownership, that the Springs Preserve belongs to all of us. And through our community efforts, that people will maintain very high hopes for a successful and sustainable future for Las Vegas.
For all the good work the Springs Preserve does, we're ever so much better for the many ways our members trust and invest in us. So we're always striving to give back even more than we get.
Members truly are like our family. They give to us, they visit us all the time, and we rely on members to improve our facility. Really, it's our members that are telling us, we love this, bring this back, and we're listening.
Because once they discover us, they're likely to become devoted friends of the preserve.
We have individual memberships all the way up to family sustaining memberships. So depending on what you're interested in, if you just want an annual pass that gets you in free, we have that. We have that for families, we have that for individuals. If you're looking for something a little bit more, something that has benefits, something that also tells the Springs Preserve that I'm looking to sustain and I'm looking to support what the Springs Preserve does, we have those too.
The improvements are evident in everything we do at the Preserve that's made possible by our close connections with our members.
It's small enough that you really feel like you're making a contribution. You know, you get some of these big charities and it's like, well, you know, I'm among, 10,000 donors that they have or something like that. This to me is more intimate. So you really kind of feel, okay, yeah, I can see where the money's going. And the other thing I think is you guys take really good care of the members.
And that involves making all aspects of our members' visits easier, more economical, and endlessly enjoyable.
It also gives a lot of benefits such as parking, exclusive parking. It gives you previews to our exhibits, early access. It gives discounted admission to our special events that everyone enjoys. So it really offers all kinds of different benefits for our members.
What better time to become a member than during a year that will be exceptional for its very special events?
We've gone to some of the special events here and they've been really enjoyable. The special tours, the VIP tours, I practically go on every one as soon as I hear about it.
Which is why we attract so many members once they realize they're likely to be frequent visitors.
We offer that great program for anyone. If they want to come visit the Springs Preserve and they buy a general admission ticket and they find at the end of their visit they'd really like to come back and find that membership is a better way to do that, we are happy to exchange their tickets and apply that amount towards their membership.
Because one thing members can be sure of at the Preserve is that there will always be positive changes.
It's not a staid old organization, where you're supporting a museum that never changes exhibits or something like that. It's very alive. It's good to see Las Vegas preserving some history rather than just blowing it down, and the whole ecological thing, it's something we have to pay attention to, and that's one of the goals of Springs Preserve here.
And one of the great gifts anyone can give to family and friends.
Gift memberships really offer a unique way to celebrate the Springs Preserve and to give someone access to a facility all year long. They can come and they have a different experience every time they're here, so it's a great way. It really is the gift that keeps on giving for an entire year.
A gift that may become a longer lasting and even lifetime investment.
Oh, I can never see enough here. Become a member.
If you're looking for the perfect holiday present that your loved ones and friends will enjoy year-round, why not give the gift of a Springs Preserve membership? Help sustain culture, history, and the environment in our community while giving unlimited visits to the preserve's galleries, museums, exhibits, botanical garden, and walking trails. You can purchase individual, family, and donor-level memberships online or at any preserve ticketing window. For more information, visit springspreserve.org or call 702-822-7700. If your resolutions for the new year include some popular goals such as saving money, becoming healthier, getting organized, or being more charitable, then adopting the simple practices of sustainability that are central to the teachings and examples of the Springs Preserve will make life that much more rewarding and the world an even better place for everybody.
Sustainability is a method of thinking globally but acting locally to help preserve and improve and maintain one's way of life within their environment.
Sustainability, like so many other profound movements, begins at home.
Some of the processes and things that are involved with sustainable living are the kind of things that we could do every day simply just by changing your habits of what you use or how you use water, turning off the faucet while you're brushing your teeth, taking shorter showers, just changing your landscaping to more water smart, friendly, desert friendly landscaping can make huge differences, not only for the community and for what Las Vegas, future, but also for yourself,
while creating longer-lasting benefits by modeling sustainable behaviors for the next generation.
Springs Preserve really strives to encourage education from the ground up, starting at even, at your children's age, getting them in the habit of when they get the mail, recycling all of the paper pieces they don't need, or, deciding that refuse, trash, aluminum cans, bottles need to be put in proper receptacles, and so that they can be reused over and over again.
These and many other obvious and innovative examples are all on display in one of our most popular attractions that's named for its excellent practices.
Walking through the sustainability gallery, you can see the rammed earth construction or recycled carpet or countertops and pieces, and can see how not only are they aesthetically pleasing, but also reuse and materials that would normally be put into a landfill, which would only cause problems for further generations.
Unless we understand how intricately and inevitably we're connected to and dependent on our natural resources.
Here at the Springs, we try and teach people that we do live in a closed environment, a closed planet, and products that you select from your store shelves stay within that environment. And so it's always best to choose the ones that are the most sustainable, the most eco-friendly, because the things that we use in our homes that end up down our drains stay in the environment and stay in the system. So pick the best things and make the best environment for ourselves.
The Springs Preserve is living and growing proof that being frugal in your own water use is necessary, and desert landscaping can be lush when done right.
One of the most surprising things that guests find when they tour the Springs Preserve, seeing the exhibits and learning about the true uses of water in Las Vegas and the Mojave Desert, is that it's not casinos or golf courses or fountains that use the most water. It's our very own lawns and our backyards. We have one of the most beautiful gardens in the entire world, and it's all done with water-smart, eco-friendly landscaping.
It's just one of the many lessons we're teaching every day here at the Springs Preserve, and learning too, as we discover ever new ways of bringing sustainability home.
When I do the tours with the kids, I get everybody sit down and I ask the kids, I go, how many of you guys were born in Las Vegas? And it's 90% of the kids, the children on the tours were born in Las Vegas. And then I ask the parents the same thing, how many of you were born in Las Vegas? I get 1, maybe 2 out of 15 adults, that were born in Las Vegas. And so for them, I think they think of themselves as Californians who live in Las Vegas, or Illinoisans or Michiganders or Hawaiians that happen to live in Las Vegas. They don't think of themselves as Nevadans, as Las Vegans, but the kids will, the kids do. And so for them, that's what's going to make a difference, is the people that have a vested interest in their home.
Even after all the holiday packages have been unwrapped, there's still a chance to give one last present to the earth by donating your live Christmas tree to a valley-wide recycling program that will chip it into a life-giving, water-saving, sweet-smelling layer of mulch that will cover our community parks and gardens.
Christmas tree recycling is an amazing program that we work on it's a community-wide group. We work together to enable the community to recycle their Christmas trees. So there are about 30 locations around the Las Vegas Valley where people can take their Christmas trees once the holiday season is over. Since 2001, we've recycled over 180,000 Christmas trees in the Las Vegas Valley. Last year, we actually had our best year ever. We recycled over 20,000 Christmas trees. There are a couple of programs that we're starting to put together where you can have your tree picked up. Now, 1-800-GOT-JUNK has been one of our great partners for the last 5 years, and they will come to your house and pick up your tree for a small fee, $30. We've also started working with the Boy Scouts, and they are in the Enterprise area. There are 14 different zip codes where you can have your tree picked up. You can actually schedule a pickup online, so check our website. You can recycle your Christmas tree December 26th all the way through January 15th. So all of the drop sites will be open for that time period. All you have to do is go to the website, put your address in, and it will find the nearest location for you to drop your tree. You need to take off all of the decorations, the lights, the tinsel, any sort of ornaments. So please make sure that all of that is gone before you drop your tree off. We couldn't do what we do without all the great community partners that we have, and also without the community coming out, bringing your tree, and making sure that, it doesn't go into the landfill.
The mission of the Springs Preserve takes vivid physical shape in every one of our museum spaces. What's less evident, but just as essential, is the behind-the-scenes expertise of our curation team, who brilliantly exhibit our community's cultural, environmental, and historical awareness.
We're looking for a variety of things that can introduce history, science, etc. to our visitors. So we have a pretty wide canvas from which we can choose from.
Even with this wide variety of subject matter, we always focus on the messages that will enrich every visitor's experiences of the preserve.
We try to determine what the goals for the exhibit are, what we're trying to communicate for our visitors. We dial it down a little bit farther. What are the learning goals for our various visitors, depending on their age? So once we've determined what our main message is, we're going to do some brainstorming. We're going to try and figure out what is the best way to communicate that to visitors.
Mounting so many successful educational exhibits takes a born curator, and one who's chosen a career path that's been museum-oriented every step of the way.
I always went to museums. They were a comfortable place for me. I also liked telling stories. I like stories, so I kind of gravitated towards history.
Aaron's resume reads like the perfect job description for his current curatorial role at the Preserve.
I supervise all aspects of the exhibit program. So everything from designing and planning new exhibits to planning and choosing and installing and deinstalling.
Even after an exhibit opens, though, we keep constantly monitoring and improving the way our guests get involved with it.
A lot of times you put something on exhibit and you're pretty sure you think it's going to work, but then you watch people and they interact with it very, very differently. And then you have to make some changes, and that's just part of the organic process.
Although we're recognized for our anchor exhibits in the Origin and Sustainability galleries, we're always excited about raising the expectations of our visitors for a constantly changing calendar of special shows.
We realized very early on that we had to create a reason for visitors to come back, because we had realized that our bread and butter, so to speak, were locals. We're Las Vegas locals. So we wanted to create a variety of changing opportunities for them to see when they came back, as members or otherwise. And so the way that most museums do that are with traveling exhibits.
We've already displayed an exceptional selection of dinosaurs, rainforests, chocolate, shipwrecks, and space exploration that will soon try to top with something even more unbelievably educational.
We're going to have the Ripley's Believe It or Not exhibit that's going to look at the science of Ripley's Believe It or Not. That exhibit, it's very much like, ooh, science wonders. You see these books when you're a kid, like The Wonderful World of Science. That's basically what it's going to be. It will be connected through the idea of let's learn about what's behind these things.
Along with the wide world of traveling exhibits we offer, our guests also appreciate our shows of regional and very local arts and culture.
We did a Route 66 exhibit that played with the idea or the myth of Route 66, not the reality, but the myth of it. And that was really fun because we had about 6 or 7 different artists doing very different things.
And one of our most eagerly anticipated and well-attended exhibitions is a collection made up entirely of the student works that have been honored with Scholastic Art and Writing Awards.
That's a great opportunity for us to show to the community that we really want to engage them, and we encourage, we have students of really high skill level compete in that and show in that particular. We have over 1,000 people usually show up for that art gallery opening. So it's quite popular. In fact, we actually have it outside. There's no way we can get it in here, and we usually have a long line, over an hour long, to get into this gallery.
As proud as we are of all of our grand openings, we're just as pleased with the finely tuned team of skilled professionals who make our simplest and most complex installations proceed so easily.
Sometimes we're looking at an exhibit where we might bring it in on a Monday morning and it is ready to go by Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon. Sometimes, though, we might work non-stop, not even taking weekends off, for 14 days.
It may seem routine to do our museum duties this efficiently, but we still have many moments when we marvel at the gifts we're given to put on exhibit for you.
So sometimes you never know what you're going to get with a box or even a truck until you open it up. It's like Christmas every day.
Come experience the innovative technologies of tomorrow today, on display now as part of our traveling exhibit from the SciTech Discovery Center and Imagine Exhibitions Science Fiction, Science Future, where you'll be transported from the fantastical popular cultural visions of 1950s, flying cars, robotic housekeepers, mental telekinesis, and space travel into the realm of potential and actual human advances toward invisibility, cybernetics, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence. A mind-blowing variety of interactive exhibits that will give visitors hands-on chances to explore, understand, and imagine what inventions may be introduced into our everyday lives in the decades to come, if not sooner. It's an experience for all ages, and for the ages, as dreamers will become doers in the Origin Museum through January 8th. For more information, visit springspreserve.org. We're as happy as can be to have our own mobile app at last that's smart enough and adaptable enough to guide you through the ever-changing natural and educational landscape of the Springs Preserve.
So we know that over 60% of our users of the Springs Preserve website are coming from mobile devices. So a mobile app was a really natural thing for us to do. The Springs Preserve mobile app is available in the Apple and Android app stores for free. One of the most exciting features of the mobile app is the mapping application that allows you to get directions from one area of the property to another, also allowing for stroller-friendly or wheelchair-friendly routes. Users can see a list of our upcoming events and activities and also purchase tickets for those events and activities as well as memberships. As an incentive for downloading the Springs Preserve mobile app, we actually have free drawstring backpacks available in the gift shop. If you go into the gift shop and show that you've downloaded the mobile app on your mobile phone, you'll be given a drawstring backpack while supplies last. So, through our social media efforts and our website and our mobile site and the extension of this being the mobile app, we're really hoping to continue building this community and, giving other opportunities for people to interact with us.
As a longtime Las Vegas resident and journalist, Bob Stodahl is an ideal trustee for the Springs Preserve. As a central figure in documenting our city's history, he shares his unique perspective about early Vegas and what's best about our new Boomtown 1905 exhibit to help bring this historic attraction to life.
Many people call me the cranky historian. And that's if there's a story that's either on the air or in a book or a magazine and said the event occurred on January 15th, 1912, and it was really 1911, I get all up in arms. So I have this fascination to really check facts and go back to a primary source, and that really developed my interest in history and the real story of Las Vegas.
Which is first and foremost a railroad story.
So it was just a tremendous amount of energy and supplies coming and going. And with no real road to Southern California or north to Salt Lake City, most of our connection with the outside world came through the train.
That's why we've recreated the gateway that welcomed the world to life in early Las Vegas.
That depot was just a key to Las Vegas.
And it unlocked access to an exciting mix of clubs, resorts, shopping, and shows.
The Arizona Club was really high-end. It was high-end architecturally, high-end interior. Let's say the Arizona Club was a 10 at the time. You'd go down to maybe a 4 or 5 for the rest of the bars, the rest of the saloons. It was a significant drop.
In good times and bad, a colorful parade of visitors, residents, worshipers, and workers passed through the lobby of the Lincoln Hotel.
The Lincoln Hotel had the upper level of the railroad workers, and at one time the Catholic Church Sunday school was held here for a period of time. Later on in life, the Lincoln Hotel was not a house of ill repute, but clearly the ladies of the night, this was their home.
The mercantile store provided a one-stop shop for making a home in a frontier town.
You could go into that store, yes, you would buy your food, your groceries, but you could also buy weapons, tools, clothes. It's just like so the mercantile store that we have here is really reflective of a big box store of today.
Even with all the potential the little town offered, promises were broken in the inevitable cycle of successes and failures.
A boomtown really has two fundamental elements to it. It has its boom and it has its bust. And there were lots of examples in the state of Nevada with mining where they would find what they thought was rich ore and there'd be a boom and then it would peter out.
Yet the challenges of desert life made the early settlers self-reliant, but also very neighborly.
Literally everybody in Las Vegas in that 1905 to 1920 period, everybody got along because everybody living out in the middle of nowhere. So it was a very close-knit community with a great deal of respect because you had to do that.
For the railroad workers and their growing families, it must have been another comfort to go home at night to one of their well-designed company cottages.
So the cottages that we also have on the street, they're a real sign. These cottages were built to entice the upscale employees that they were looking for. They were not going to come to a town where they had to live in tents. So the plumbers, the pipe fitters, the carpenters, the painters, all of those folks said, we'll come, but you're going to have to give us some better living conditions.
As one of the saviors of the remaining cottages that once seemed fated for destruction, Bob Stoddall can take special pride in what their restoration represents to this boomtown that will always be at its best.
I can't tell you how excited I am to see these cottages the way they are and what the Springs Preserve has done and what it's going to mean to the community. To be able to go in with your 6, 7, 8-year-old yourself to go in and see how life was back in that period of time in Las Vegas and to touch something, to be able to feel that, not just seeing a photograph or reading a great account, but to be able to sit back and look at these cottages. This is sensational and really means a lot to the future of the Springs Preserve. We have the past, we certainly have the present, and the Springs Preserve is also all about the future.
Why not take a ride in the style of the times around the preserve's exploration loop trail on our replica steam train? You'll journey through 110 acres of native habitats and historical and archaeological sites, and experience the nostalgia of the early 1900s. You'll even catch a peek at the soon-to-open Boomtown 1905 exhibit. For our current train schedule and more information about the Boomtown opening, log on to springspreserve.org. There's a lot more to discover, so join us next time here at the Springs Preserve, where getting older means getting better, showing off is okay for cultural reasons, and celebrating our 10th birthday with a boom will mingle to bring new life to Las Vegas.